Yesterday, at the International Association of Chiefs of Police conference in Chicago, Donald Trump shows up and he gives a speech where he announces one of the most terrifying things he's announced since the day he said he was running for president. Here's what Donald Trump told that gathering of chiefs of police. In coming weeks, Attorney General Barr will announce a new crackdown on violent crime, which I think is so important, targeting gangs and drug traffickers in high-crime cities and dangerous rural areas. Let's call it the surge. The surge, much like George W. Bush's surge in Iraq, where he decided to send over thousands upon thousands more U.S. soldiers to kind of wrap things up in Iraq. And here we are a decade and a half later, still there because it didn't work. But Trump is totally sure that his surge here in the United States on our own streets totally going to knock out all crime. He continues, this is the more frightening part. To help keep you safe, I've made $600 million worth of surplus military equipment available to local law enforcement. So what Donald Trump announced yesterday at this International Association of Chiefs of Police is that he is going to be turning the United States, with the help of Attorney General William Barr, into a giant militarized police state. It's the surge, folks. That's what he calls it. And here's what we have to understand. Here's what Republicans in general have to understand, because Trump has repeated these talking points. We see their acolytes out there repeating these talking points. And here it is. They are somehow still living in a 1980s action movie where there's just crime and murder and drug dealers on every corner of every street here in the United States. The truth is that's not happening. Are there murders? Yes. Are there drug dealers? Yes. Are there gangs? Yes. Are they as organized and prevalent as they were back then in those 80s action movies? Nope. In fact, they're far more sophisticated today than they were back then. See, Republicans are living in a dramatized fantasy world where the only way to fight back against these people is to have a John McClane type out there fly down in a military helicopter, jump out of it with a couple of AK-47s, and mow down 400 gangbangers in a matter of seconds. It makes for a great Hollywood action movie. Unfortunately, that's not how things work in the real world, because that's all fake. But Trump wants to make it real. He wants to give our police departments these weapons of war. And think about that for a second, folks. These are weapons of war. And he's giving them to police officers to carry them on the street, to use them on the street. Does that mean we, the United States, are at war? And if so, doesn't that make us the occupied force? Because he's not giving us those weapons. He's giving those weapons to the police to keep us in order. We are being further oppressed by this government today because of it. Police officers, as we have seen very clearly over the last decade, have no problem using their smaller weapons to just end a human life, even when that human is perfectly complying with everything they tell them to do. So what are they going to do when they get these fancy new $600 million worth of weapons of war? That's a terrifying thought. And if Trump is to be believed, it's about to become a very terrifying reality for millions of American citizens. Thanks for watching, everybody. And don't forget, if you like what you see here, like, comment, share, and subscribe to our channel. And now you can also become a member of Ring of Fire and get exclusive early access to certain Ring of Fire videos all throughout the week. Just click on the little join button right below the video.